Welcome, everybody. Today, I will be talking about 3 different diagnoses that sometimes mirror ADHD and kind of what you can do about them. So if we haven't met, I'm Melissa Corkum, a parent and wellness coach. If you're watching on YouTube or Instagram TV, be sure to subscribe or follow. We'd also love to have you join us at our Facebook group, Essentially Connected, where you can catch all of these videos live each week and just be in a fantastic group of parents. If you are watching live, comment hi. I'm going to log on so I can watch for questions. If you're watching the replay, comment replay so that we know that you are here. Before we get started, I want to thank everyone who took the survey last week about what you are looking for in services for parenting in terms of courses or membership sites. The winner for the $25 Amazon gift card is designer, atdc@yahoo.com. So I will be reaching out to you. Comment replay. So gosh, there I am. Okay, so when our kids can't focus or are hyperactive, can't sit still, our brains and sometimes our doctors automatically think ADHD. So what are some other things that could be going on? So today, again, I'm going to talk about 3 things that may be the issue instead. And these things are things that wouldn't be helped by traditional ADHD treatments or accommodations. So if you feel like you've tried everything and it's not working, it could be that maybe your child is misdiagnosed. So the first thing to consider is sleep apnea. So this is something that can be really common in kids, and the symptoms look a lot like ADHD. So if your child snores, grinds their teeth, wakes up throughout the night, might still have nighttime accidents or daytime accidents, has impulse control issues, is hard to understand when speaking, might have dark circles under their eyes, has aggressive behaviors, has crooked or misaligned teeth, wakes up really early, or is really irritable during the day, may also have a bad appetite. These are all signs that sleep apnea may be an issue. So what to do? You want to talk to your pediatrician about a possible sleep study. They may suggest surgery to remove tonsils or adenoids. Now, that's pretty extreme, and you may feel like you don't have room for another doctor or a sleep study, or that sounds like a nightmare. I want to suggest that you try a simple essential oil blend, because even if it's not sleep apnea and you try this blend, it's not going to hurt your child. But I do have a friend who started using this on her kids. They were getting ready to have adenoid surgery, and she was super, super nervous about it. We tried this as a last resort, and her kids now sleep through the night after not sleeping through the night for years. They were older than toddler, and they did avoid surgery. So what I would do is get a roller bottle, put 20 drops of thyme and 5 drops of frankincense in the roller, and then top it off with a carrier oil. Roll that on the bottoms of your kids' feet, definitely in the toe area before bedtime each night. Try that for a week or so. See if you notice a difference in sleep patterns. From a quality perspective, I would say if you're not spending $50 to $80 on a 15 milliliter bottle of frankincense, it may not be 100% frankincense. Frankincense is only able to be harvested once a year, and the frankincense areas of where the boswellia trees grow in Somaliland, and that area is closed for harvesting currently, or will be closing in the near future. And so the supply for frankincense is low, which should drive the price up. Basic economics, right? So I just want to make sure that you're using things that are super effective for your kids, so that you know if it's working or not. The second thing that might be an issue is a vision processing issue. Sometimes children are really bright, and parents are confused by their difficulties with reading or other behaviors. They may have thought that they've already ruled out a vision problem at a yearly eye screening. Often a child with vision processing issues is labeled as hyperactive, lazy, or slow. They may be diagnosed with something like dyslexia. They may have been mistakenly diagnosed with learning disabilities or ADHD. So if you suspect that this is an issue with your child, other symptoms may be things like gets carsick, talks about headaches, uses a finger as a pointer, tilts head, maybe even toe walks. All of these things could point towards vision processing. If you suspect that that's the case, you want to see a developmental ophthalmologist. Vision screenings in schools and at the pediatrician's office typically test only distance vision, which is basically just how far you can see in 20 feet. It doesn't test whether your eyes are converging correctly, whether the pathway between your eyes and your brain, and then from your brain to your understanding is all working correctly. And so we did this with our son. I was amazed at all the different tasks that were involved, and it was very obvious to see some of his vision deficits right away, and it explained a lot about what we were seeing in terms of both behavior and learning and reading. The last thing that I want to talk about is the rest of our sensory processing system. We've talked a little bit about that in our group already, but there are lots of senses that our body is processing besides vision: hearing, touch, taste, smells, all the things. And so if our body isn't processing those things correctly, it may be taking a lot more energy to process those things, and we may not be using the information wisely. We may be getting too much information. All of these things can cause inattentiveness because our sensory system is pulling our attention elsewhere. And whether we are sensory averse or sensory seeking will tell which type of solution would be best for your child in order to help his attention stay where you want it to be. The best person to chat with to have that checked out is an occupational therapist. Look for one who works with kids, is a pediatric occupational therapist, and then you'll have a better idea of which things to accommodate to help the sensory system not be impacting your child's attention. If you don't have an OT in your area, or maybe, again, cost and time prohibitive, I would definitely check out the book, The Out of Sync Child by Carol Kranowitz. And there's also a companion to that, The Out of Sync Child Has Fun. You can basically be your own OT office with all of the activities she has in those books. So those are some just quick tips in case you have a child who doesn't seem to exactly fit all the labels. He or she may be misdiagnosed. So again, leave your questions and comments. I'll get back to them this week, and I'll be away next week, and then the following week is 4th of July. So I will come on one time in the next 2 weeks. I'm not exactly sure when it is, but I'll send out a message so that you guys know. But as always, thanks so much for joining me, and have a great week.